Hey, welcome to Dads with
Good
Coffee.
morning. Good morning.
Welcome to July, by the way.
Holy cow! It's already
6
July.
months are gone. Can you believe it? 6 months done
Say it ain't
in
so.
the books.
Say it ain't so.
I'd like to, but I can't.
It's been a quick 6 months.
Yeah, you blinked twice, and I thought it was still January, but I looked up and it's July.
But you know, we've since this time last year.
Yeah.
We've
Roller coaster.
We've come so far. we went so far away
Yeah, right.
to get back closer to where we started.
Any incremental movement back feels huge
Right.
compared to where we have been. Although, apparently we as Southern Baptists can't allow incremental changes anymore. It's like the whole enchilada or it's
Oh
nothing.
yeah, it's.
But
well,
I'm still in favor of incremental changes.
It's so much easier if you just lop the head off of it and start fresh, right?
I guess.
No, it's not.
I guess.
Are you having tea this morning?
No, I do have some flavor and some cream in my coffee today, though.
Wow, that's a hog right there you're drinking.
I am. This was a Christmas gift from the kids a couple of years back. It was funny because I have two of these.
Yeah.
I have the hog, and then I have Little Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
You gave me Miss Piggy. The
yeah.
kids gave me the hog. Same time,
Well,
same
yeah.
year. I got two the same year.
It was meant to be.
Absolutely.
Meant to be.
Absolutely. And for a long time, we weren't sure if both kids were going to Oklahoma State, but
Now look at you.
it's in the books now.
Now look
So,
at Yeah, speaking of that, man, kids are already going back to school.
oh, say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so. I'm happy to say that if you saw my Facebook, I have all my children in the 817 area code right now.
How long has it been since that's
oh,
happened?
Man.
5 years?
At least four. Yeah. It won't be much longer. I mean, Carter's on his way back to San Antonio, but I'll have 3 out of 4.
But book for just a little while.
I'll have 3 out of
Hey,
4.
you got kids graduating and having full-time jobs. That's like a win for you.
How do
You've launched appropriately.
How do we measure success as parents?
The launching.
Are your kids successful adults?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, that is a tremendously important question. What is the scorecard for parenting?
well, don't get them.
Think about it.
Get them through their 3s.
No, right?
Because I don't know.
I mean, how can we as parents evaluate success as a parent with a child?
Long term, it's just that. When they're, Ryan's 23. I'm 48. He was born on my 25th birthday.
Do the math.
I did. So Ryan's 23, just graduated college. Will start his first teaching gig in August.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's a
consider
win.
that to be successful.
That's a win. They're through school with a job. They didn't come back home to live. They got a job.
Right. Now Marcus did come back home to live,
But he
had a job.
But he had a job.
He had a job.
Well, and he had the process of marriage on the forefront, and but anybody that knows Marcus and Lex knows they had a plan, and you shall not deviate from said plan.
Going to deviate from that plan.
Do not deviate from said plan.
Ryan
comes home and says, "Hey, I'm getting married in 31 days."
Ryan's loosey goosey. Ryan is loosey goosey. He is just go with the flow.
So he's you.
He is like his.
Marcus is his mother, and Ryan is you.
Kind of, because they're totally not. Marcus is me to a T, except in that. I think Lex is rigid. I tell Marcus all the time.
So it's not Marcus.
I tell Marcus all the time that he married his mother.
Ouch! That's too soon.
No,
Soon,
it's
bro.
okay. It's
too
okay.
soon, bro.
I love my wife.
Too soon.
He loves his wife. It's
But
perfect.
no young woman wants to be compared.
No. I don't tell Lex that.
Well, you just did.
I love you, Lex. But you and Joanna are so much alike.
You forget sometimes that this conversation is being aired, man.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we can say what we want. No one else knows.
Right.
But you're right. They are scheduled, and they're on that schedule, and to deviate from that schedule throws their life
They don't.
into a tailspin.
You don't handle it. It doesn't work that way.
There's no coming back from a bad tailspin.
Nope.
So
No, it's Maverick going down.
However, Ryan, the school was the Islanders, right?
Oh yeah.
And everything hangs loose on the island. Everything hangs loose on the island. And
not the Rams. The Rams.
Right. I didn't think about that. My first two went to our Rams. My second two are Islanders. And she's going to be a Maverick. Alyssa's going to grad school at UTA.
Nice.
Starting in the fall. So
she's not the only one going to grad school.
Right. Aaron Summers.
Oh man.
Dr. Aaron.
I watched my first video this morning.
What are we saying? 48 months?
No, we are
36?
saying hopefully 32 months.
32.
30 to 32
Man,
months.
what an overachiever, huh?
I can do it in 24 if I have some help, I can do it in 24.
But he'll have to skip youth camp next year.
No, I don't have class in the summer next year. I don't really have class this summer. I mean, I do, but it's an intro class. So
let's go back to success. How do we measure success?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, physically.
And let me just back up. The reason I asked this question.
See how we are. We just jump everywhere.
The reason I asked this question, this is on my mind a lot. And this is also some of the impetus for my project, my dissertation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is the idea, and this is not new, so I'm not groundbreaking, just what I want to do with it might be groundbreaking a little. I have to come up with something somewhat original.
Yeah.
So we've had a scorecard in church life for 70 years now that basically is attendance, buildings, and cash, ABCs of the scorecard.
Right.
Is my attendance higher or lower? Or do I have more or less buildings? Do I have more or less cash? And that is success or failure. You all don't want to admit that, but this is what we've done in church life. We've done in church life. That scorecard does not work, and it's not biblical.
All right. I would agree with you.
It works on the outside. It does not work from a biblical discipleship standpoint. Just because I have more people, more buildings, more cash does not mean I'm actually discipling people.
Right, because you can catch a lot of flies with sugar.
Right.
But if you preach sugar every week,
I can catch a lot of minnows, but I want a bass.
Right. We're trying to take something home to eat.
Yeah. So I think the scorecard has to change. That's not a new concept with me, but it got me to thinking on the way to the office today.
If you're watching this is a copyrighted trademark. This is his intellectual property. If somebody else comes out with this in the next 90 days, I'm personally going to sue you.
But I just think that we as parents, I think either we don't know what the scorecard is because we're living by the seat of our pants, trying to overcome sleep deprivation, the immense reality of the potential of poverty in our economy.
Yeah.
Keep the car running, the food on the table, and sanity somewhat in line. And we don't necessarily have the long-term view of what the scorecard really is.
Right.
You watch a 3-hour football game and you have a running scoreboard to know exactly. I know at any given moment, because there's a clock, I know where I am, what I'm doing, where am I on the field, and how far ahead or behind I am, so I can project my strategy. You ever see the coaches pull out the big thing?
Oh, Andy Reid always has the Denny's menu, right?
And he's pulling out the Denny's menu because he looks at the scoreboard, he evaluates where they are, and he's got a plan for that moment on the score. Why don't we have that for parents?
Oh, man. If only.
And I'm not saying that it's so cut and dried as that, but what's the scorecard? Is it just a productive citizen and human being? I mean, so they got out of school, they got a job. Is that all there is to the parenting scorecard?
I think there's emotional, mental stability.
I'm not suggesting that's all you thought. I'm just
right. No, I know.
Well, they may not know that.
Where they at? Heart, soul, and mind. Where they at?
Right.
I'm happy to say that.
So do we take the basic 4 in the Great Commandment, heart, soul, strength, and mind, and we set that as a strategy of where are they in their heart, where are they in their mind, where are they in their soul, where are they in their strength, and try to evaluate a scorecard for that? I mean, how do we do that?
For church life or for successful adults, or both? I guess they would need to be intertwined.
Should the church not be helping to fulfill that and in tandem with parents?
Ideally, yeah, we should.
I mean, if we're supposed to be enabling them to do the work they're doing, the work they're doing is not greeting somebody at the door. It's raising a child right now.
Right.
So enabling the saints to do the work of ministry, a large part of their ministry is I got 1, 2, 6, 18 kids in the house right now. That's you on any given weekend.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the difficulty of that. There are so many kids and youth that come to church and their parents don't.
No, and I was talking about that with a group of people the other day. They were asking about youth camp.
Yeah.
And they were asking also just about kids and youth. And I said, look, here's the deal. The concept had come up, we haven't really heard a lot about youth camp. I said, let me tell you why you haven't heard a lot about youth camp. And I said, there's a lot going on. But the reason you haven't heard a lot is because most youth today, their parents either don't go or they don't go here.
Right.
And I said, so we don't have that general conversation and excitement going on simply because this generation of kids, their parents don't go to church.
Mm-hmm. And so, you think about the entirety of a week, like a month, a year. I have 2 hours a week with students.
Absolutely.
And parents have 166 hours with students.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing to grow the parents to where they can disciple their children?
Which is the Deuteronomy 6 model to start with.
Right.
It's never been our job.
Right. It's not our job to disciple your children.
No.
You can't drop them off at church and expect them to come out squeaky.
So does that mean youth ministry, just as an example, since you're sitting here, and childhood ministry for that standpoint? Does the minor kids, does this change the way we need to be doing it with today's generation, not the generation that grew up in the 80s?
Yes, but and. Okay. I have to, even from when I start 2012, 13, even from that point until now,
it's changed.
Things have changed.
Absolutely.
When Marcus, Peter, and Courtney were seniors, they are so much different from this year's seniors.
Yeah.
Or even,
yeah.
I
agree.
We're 8 years out, and
you're trying to build with sand.
Exactly.
Because it's always shifting and changing depending on the winds of the culture.
They are so involved. And schools, clubs, churches, sports, they're all competing
for time.
Mm-hmm. And so how do we as the church help parents to understand that church has to be a priority in their lives and not secondary? One of the worst things for me is when I see a kid that hasn't been there for 3 weeks, and I'm texting them, and they're like, well, my mom said I can't go to church because I'm grounded. And then in the very next breath, but I have a softball tournament this weekend. I have a baseball tournament this weekend.
But it is part of that on us as the older in the church life, because we have possibly forgotten that church isn't a place, it's a people.
I think we've lost focus of that.
If we would, is it more important?
I wouldn't say 100% we've lost focus of that. But by and large.
Well, let me unpack something you said.
Okay.
And this is in no way against you. But we're talking about they haven't been there in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's an intended scorecard. You and I are wired for this.
Right.
Okay. So it's an intended scorecard. So if somebody wasn't here 3 weeks, but we know by evidence that their life every day is being lived on mission for Christ, which is more important.
That's a different. The ones that I'm talking about that haven't been here for 3 weeks,
Yeah,
generally aren't that.
No, but I'm just saying
Individual.
that I think a lot of people only view the attendance portion.
Imagine if we were more missions minded, even local missions. Imagine if we spent Sunday serving at a homeless shelter instead of serving communion.
I know. We'd have a lot of people upset because we didn't have church today. No, you went and were the church today. I mean but that's changing the scorecard. But back to parenting.
Yeah. Well, again, successful grown children.
Mm-hmm.
What do they look like? A healthy marriage, healthy relationship, right? I believe regular attendance at church.
Sure.
It's important.
And to say I want to change a scorecard doesn't negate attendance to church.
Right. And service to that local body.
Right.
I believe, when we came to this church in 2006, we didn't visit another church.
Right.
Because I believe it's important for me to worship where you live, around the people that you live with.
Sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a community person. Right. I don't know if you can tell because I never wear Crowley stuff. But
if you just enjoy purple a little more, it would be helpful.
I'm a community guy, and I believe the church has got to be an integral part of that community.
Right.
Now, yes, there are countless number of churches in the 76036.
Really? Really, there's not.
There's plenty. There's 4 Baptist churches on this street. I'm just saying, 3 Baptist churches on this street.
Okay. You and I may define Baptist a little differently, but they have Baptist in their name.
Baptist in their name.
Yeah.
So
both of which were splits off of this one.
Right. So, I mean,
back in the day,
that is a totally another story for a totally another day. But we talked about that last week. I haven't told another story for today, or another day at least.
Yeah, I don't
remember what it was.
I don't either.
So, I don't know. Success is hard to measure.
Should it be?
Because I think success is individualized. Because what's successful for me and you may not be successful for church success. We should be able to measure church success.
Should.
In some way, shape, or form.
That's ABC.
But that doesn't always account for everything that's going on.
I totally agree. I told the church that the other night. That look, we can have somebody doing everything right and doing everything we want, but that doesn't mean automatic population increase.
Right.
Because God gives the increase.
Yes.
Not a staff person and not even a church. God gives the increase. And if you're doing it wrong, he doesn't give the increase. If you're doing it right, he may or may not. That's up to him what he wants to do. And our job is to be faithful in glorifying God and Christ.
Right.
Not ourselves, our programs, our idols.
Even ministries, we get so wrapped up in individual ministries.
We do.
That we lose focus of
the unity.
Body as a whole.
Right. How does this play a part in the body?
Right. How does youth ministry play into the full body of the church?
And COVID, I think, exacerbated the problems.
Yes.
Because we have the tendency, we don't want to silo, but we all have the wired tendency to silo ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have to, I think, moving forward, help to eliminate that. And I think even at the family level, we have to help others to eliminate the silo approach. That hey, we're a group.
Right.
You may have a job and you may be in school and you've got this sporting event, you're in this choir thing, but all of that affects us as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to figure out how are we going to maneuver that to stay unified as a family.
Right. Kind of like the church has many parts.
Or the church level.
With one head.
Yeah.
Which is Christ.
Not me.
So maybe that's
Christ.
Maybe that's success of a family.
I may be the mouthpiece, but he's the head.
Is the success of a family measured by is Christ the head of the household?
But how do you measure that?
What's, you'll be known by your fruit.
Which are. Yeah.
I mean, I think we got to get back to soul winning and discipling.
Just the basics. And not get so drama about all this other stuff we may not be doing. Let's start with the main thing, and then we'll figure out the other things.
Yeah. What's the most important piece? You look around there's so many churches being planted in areas where there's already churches.
And there's reasons for that.
Well, but there shouldn't be.
No, there shouldn't be, but
they're not good reasons.
But they're not good reasons, but they're reasons,
Imagine if we were.
Which is why I'm looking at church revitalization as a concentration, because I'd like to see those churches become what they need to be, rather than having to fund somebody else to come in and do the work you're supposed to be doing already.
I've gotten postcards from 4 different churches that have sprouted up in our community.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why? Is it because somebody wants to be in charge? It's because somebody wants to do church their own way?
Sometimes.
Because
sometimes.
They don't,
my beef with church planting over the years at times, and it's not everybody, but a lot of people that I know that are church planters, it had more, they won't say it this way, but I know them. This is not Ryan, but some others that I know. It's more that they're mad at the way it's been done and they want to do it differently than something else. And that's not why you go start a church.
Right.
But when they had things like, this ain't your grandma's church, okay, that speaks more about you than it does.
Yes. Yeah. I love my granny.
Right. So let me ask you.
Wait a minute. Speaking of loving their grannies, happy birthday to Mrs. Warren, 95 years old.
Oh, hey, that's
95
right.
95 years
that's
young
right.
today.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Hey, we got a couple of comments.
Yeah.
What do we got going on?
Janet, Laura, Kay.
Yeah. Let's see. A church in every corner, but they're all struggling, right, Kay? I know it.
Yeah.
It's up to everyone in the church, not the pastor, to help that to happen. Yep. Preach.
Come on. You taking the pulpit.
So let me ask you another question. What's up?
Okay.
We got time.
We always got time.
Another question. I was thinking about this today too. Where's your line? Okay.
Put me on the spot a little bit this morning.
Where's your line? I'll share mine too, but I have the question, so you get to answer first.
All right.
Where's your line between the giving of wants or needs to a child?
I'm a softie.
See, I'm called the celebrity parent at my house.
I'm a softie. I'm just.
You give in.
If I have it and
Right.
they need it.
Okay. See, here's the difference.
Well, you're right. What, Dad? I want a PS5. Okay. How's it feel to want? Because we're not getting a PS5.
Right. Not at $450.
Dad, I need gas money. Okay. Here's some gas money. Dad, I need.
Well, Dad, I need gas money. Why do you need gas money? Is it because back in the day when I was asking for gas money, it's because I was running up and down the strip 100 times on a Friday night.
I got a text yesterday from one of my children, and I won't say which one, and I won't even say if they're one of my biological children. But I got a text from one of my children. Hey, the car is dangerously close to being out of gas.
Okay.
Can you send me some money? Yes. Where are you at? It doesn't matter.
Cash App is such your friend.
Well, he doesn't have. I'm going to out the child, so.
Yeah.
I had to
stop.
I had to Zell them.
Okay.
I had to Zell them. So.
Well, any of those things work.
Yes. If you don't have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle,
how are you
PayPal,
functioning?
how do you exist in life?
How do you even exist?
You talk about a cashless society. We're already.
My daughter has 2 bank accounts, and she Zells from one to the other, because one's here and one's in Oklahoma. She Zells from one to the other, because the car payment is auto pay out of the other. So she's Zelling herself basically, to cover it. Oh my God.
So for me, it depends on what is the want. Do I have the means to fulfill the want? need, I'm going to do everything I can to supply every need.
Mhm.
Every time. Now,
But sometimes there's a blur.
sometimes there is a blur.
They have a want. It may be a need.
It feels like a need to them.
They have a need. There may be a want.
But, Carter, do you actually need that?
Why you get at him like that?
It's not always Carter. For example, Carter started a new job as an electrician. Right?
Yeah, good job.
He needed tools for that job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Of course.
And he didn't have the money to front that.
So what's a kid to do? Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
I need tools.
So do you front him the money, or do you expect him to pay it back later?
Well,
or is it
sure.
just your gift?
I front the money, but I never see it back.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
Yeah.
never see the bag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. My son has 2 jobs. I fronted him the money on some aprons and some other things.
Right.
I haven't
And
seen that yet.
That's a thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
That's all
it is.
that
It is.
That's
You
all
know.
that is.
But you know, I've been tagged the celebrity parent because I tend to be the easier one.
Join it. Yes.
I have been the one that supposedly gets manipulated more easily.
So we
I
were
don't.
having this conversation just last night. Not about you, about me.
Right.
Joanna said, "You are such a girl, Dad." And I don't have any girls, but I'm not gonna lie. I will in kickball last night, right? We had Wednesday Friends Day. I cheated my tail off to try to get the girls to win. I mixed them up, boys versus girls last night. There were only 5 boys. They're just bigger, faster, stronger.
Nothing you can do.
I tried. I was knocking balls down. I was throwing them away intentionally.
And they still won.
Girls, it was a valiant effort. I had 3 soccer girls playing. I thought.
So what is this conversation about you being such a girl dad?
Well, because see, in the youth group, I absolutely 100% will. I'm more geared towards being a parent to girls than I am a parent to the boys, because
I don't see that.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Joanna does. And
No.
she thinks that.
I mean, maybe it was the enormous size of that last senior class, but I saw you much more attuned to the boys than the girls.
There are some girls that would argue that. You ask Haley or Jaden or Addie or
That you were more attuned to the boys.
or Sophia, they would say I was,
You're a boy.
because I don't. I'm gonna get gross for a minute. It's not really gross. It's human life. I don't have a problem if I need to go to the store and buy feminine products. In fact, I always provide for them when we go to camp, because
Somebody's gonna forget,
somebody's gonna forget, and
or somebody
it's
doesn't know,
inevitable.
or somebody doesn't know how to
Right?
calendar.
Dude,
Dude, I know.
I'm just. I don't know.
Is it 25? Is it 35?
Yeah, whatever it
I don't
is. Sometimes, who knows? But yeah, I get called a girl dad, and I don't have any girls.
Well, I have
And there's
one.
a reason for that, because if I had girls, they would be so wrapped around my pinky that wants and needs, there would be no blurred line, because everyone
all the
is a
same.
need.
It's all the same.
Everyone is a need. Daddy, I want this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have one each. And it has been,
Yeah.
I have been under the accusatory light that I
Right.
give in way easier than I should. Not to just one, but to
To
both.
both.
That's why I'm called the celebrity parent.
Well, at least
That-
you're an equal opportunity giver.
I know.
Gifter.
And I don't deny it. I mean, I probably played into that some, especially when they were littler. But now it's harder because sometimes discipline needs to happen, and rightfully so. Mom should not be the only one having to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, when Mom was home, when they were younger, we were
Sure.
thankful she was able to do that. Yours was too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were thankful for that. You know, she took the lion's share of that, and so I didn't.
Right.
I supported her,
Sure.
but you know,
But
now,
that's where the line "Did you ask your mother?" comes from.
oh, I know, and they would come to me, and I failed at that a little bit, and then I had to learn. Hey, what'd your mom say?
Yeah.
You know, stop. What'd your mother say? Well, now with texting,
Everybody's in a group text.
it's a group text, but sometimes I get private texts.
Uh-huh.
and I will be like, put that in the group text and let's see what happens. I just want to.
Good.
But no, it's like, well, but what's your opinion separate from mom's opinion? Do you have an opinion separate from mom's opinion? I said, put it in the group text. I don't have an opinion on that.
I'm pleading the fifth on that.
But you know that's how as they got older, they got more savvy with that.
Yes.
You know, because
don't talk to me about savvy children.
You know, because they saw through that veneer. I mean, and we wanted to have a concerted front, but at the same time, the kids would be like, I almost always would defer. Whatever your mom wants, I don't care. I'm not going to argue about it. You know, whatever your mother said is fine. Well, what I didn't realize was that was also putting her
a lot of pressure on her to make all those decisions,
at the good and the bad and the ugly. And I got off scot-free saying, well, it's whatever your mother says.
Yeah, well, it's easier that way for us.
Well, so I'm having to adjust a little bit. My youngest has pushed a few buttons in the last couple of weeks that we've had to address some things. So she's a great kid. I love her to death, but she's still at home and forgets that sometimes.
Hey, I'm kind of excited because next week we're going to be live from Falls Creek.
Are we doing that? Are we going to do it live? Okay, cool.
We're going to come to you live from Falls Creek next Thursday.
Yep.
It's going to
be a little bit chaotic possibly, but we're going to do it.
And students with coffee at breakfast.
Dads with coffee at camp.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. We're taking 48. I'm going to have some
that went up.
Yeah.
48 students
or
total?
48 total.
Okay.
48 total.
So about 36 students.
Yep.
That's what I thought I'd been telling you.
So we are, I'll have prayer bands out Sunday morning. If you'd like to pray for a student or a staffer or a cook or a sponsor or whoever, I'm going to have those names written on some hospital type bracelets for you to continue to pray for the child. We have a lot of unsaved students going to camp this year.
The movement of God.
We have a lot of students that have been away from church
that need Jesus.
So just pray now. You don't have to pray for them by name. Just pray for the students that are going to camp with First Baptist Crowley. In fact, pray for all the kids at Falls Creek.
Yes,
there will be 4,000 kids there Monday. So
such a low week. I forget that.
Yeah,
but it's 4th of July week.
Oh, it's nice. It's the low week. You don't have to wait 3 hours to get a coffee.
I know it. Well, I don't anyway.
You can get into the gift shop. I don't either. Sometimes I want to get a Gatorade or something though.
But hey, our cooks are so good; they keep us stocked with what we need. So
Nancy and I, we had a decline charge yesterday from Walmart.
Yeah, I saw that come through.
Good for Chase Bank. Thanks, Chase Bank and your fraud team, because they thought it was fraudulent because I never spent $739 at Walmart
ever,
and that's just a portion.
Hey, feeding 48 people is not cheap.
We got about $3,000 more to spend. Oh, I got a beautiful picture this morning. I got one of the football coaches to smoke briskets for us.
Nice.
Oh, he had 5 just beautiful blackened briskets onto the smoker.
Yeah.
He said 8 hours in. That was at 7:00 this morning. So JJ Owens, I love you.
It was overnight.
Appreciate you. Yes.
Does he have kids going to camp?
He does not. He doesn't have students. He doesn't have kids. Well, he has kids.
Way to go, JJ. Thanks, man.
He has kids, but they're grown. Great guy. Loves kids.
Yep.
He does what he does for the kids.
Yep.
Not for his own successes. Great example.
Yep.
So JJ.
Well, I'll have to step away a second at camp because I'll have a video I've got to watch at some point.
Somebody's trying to be a doctor.
Tuesday. I know. Why did I do this?
Well,
I'm in it to win it now.
It's good time.
So.
Yes, thank you, Kay, and all of you that were at prayer meeting last night that prayed for the students and the sponsors and everyone going to camp.
Yep. Man, they're on it. They are praying for camp. They are praying for VBS.
Yeah, VBS is 3 weeks from now.
I mean, they are on it, and I appreciate what they're doing at that time.
Nothing could be successful without the power of prayer.
That's right. That's right.
That's why having Kay and Bill as the prayer warrior team captains for VBS is perfect.
It is. It is. Well, we better go because we're at that point now. So hey, for no agenda, we did real well. So
yeah, we literally walked in. It's like, oh man, it's 9 o'clock.
It's 9. Let's start.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Love you guys.